I'm Segun, and I'm the composer for the new series of Doctor Who. My role is to aid the storytelling through music and to work with Chris and Matt and to figure out what the sound is, what the direction of the music is, and how we want it to work with the new direction that Chris has taken the show in.
He was a real rising star that a lot of people were talking about in the music composition world.
His experimentation, the use of sounds, the use of electronic and found sounds along with orchestrated sounds, and he was very interested in building a sound world around the show. He was fascinated with the history of the music of the show. Of course, when the show first came out, it was pioneering. Delia Derbyshire helped set up the Radiophonic Workshop and helped create the original sound with Ron Grainer's theme tune. And those sounds are still ahead of their time. They're still cutting edge 55 years later.
I studied some stuff about the Radiophonic Workshop when I was going through my GCSEs. And that was really, really important because that left an impression on me about music and what music could be. And it was no longer a case of it just had to be a piano, or it just had to be an orchestra, or it just had to be a rock band or something. It could be found sounds that you were manipulating and working with and playing around with, and so much more. What's great is to be able to actually bring that side of things into the show. Not to say that it's the same as what they did, but certainly I've been very much inspired by that creativity.
I think he just brings a new approach. There's stuff in his score that you'd find in the charts. There's stuff that you'd find on Brian Eno records. There's sort of more ambient, soundscapey stuff.
I can talk to you about how Rag and Bone Man and Adele and other artists in the popular world have really influenced the score very much as Radiophonic Workshop, but also people like Stephen Price doing Gravity and Johan Johansson doing Arrival, how there are those kind of influences in it as well. So it's definitely a modern score, but then it doesn't leave behind live instruments or influences from the classical world either. It's got those in it as well. So it really does pull from lots of different areas.
I think he's done a brilliant new version of the theme, which both harks back to the show's history and makes it feel very modern.
Before I was really completely on board, we had a discussion about the Doctor. We had a discussion about what's Chris, as the lead creative, what's he trying to convey with this Doctor? And also Jodie as well, what's she bringing to it, what's she conveying? So Chris talked me through a lot of things to do with her and to do with Hope and to do with how she's playing the character. And that just really inspired me. So we finished the conversation and I said, look, I'll write some music for you. And I just started writing and spent a few days on it and sent it over to them. And that was, in a way, my emotional and musical reaction to that conversation with Chris about who the Doctor is and what she stands for.
The music for Doctor Who in this series, what I hope it will do is it will bring the sense of joy and the sense of excitement that the show has, but it will also bring those moments of quiet contemplation and emotion. So it's a really fresh, different feel to the show and sort of complements the new look of the show.
If you think about the range of tones and emotions we have, for example, in episode 1, just that alone probably hits all the notes that any other whole series might hit.
We're not pulling back or hiding from any big emotions or big moments. We are being as bold about being very, very small and subtle and gentle as we are about being really big and being really on the front foot.
What we demand from our composer is really huge, and that's the exciting thing about Segun is he's unifying all that into a new voice for the show, which is really great.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.